We're going to be looking at 55 back and forth. And the big thing about once you add your bow to your left hand is to make sure that those same techniques about keeping your left hand, the good left hand techniques, making sure you're pushing the strings all the way down, your violin or viola, keeping a nice straight wrist, fingers are nice and tall, shells and basses, same concept, making sure the string is pressed down. That's going to be the important part to getting a nice good tone quality once you're putting your left hand down on your bow. And then also taking some time and making sure your bow is moving in that right direction. So if you are at a point where you're still a little iffy on keeping that bow moving nice and straight or left hand, maybe it's good to go back and review the open strings or just the pizzicato left hand. But we're going to go ahead with back and forth, and the idea is to combine both of these things together. Good left hand technique, good right hand technique, get a nice big open sound. So let's go ahead and actually just pizzicato it first so that we can kind of review the left hand and then we'll bow it. So here's the first time through pizzicato. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. We pizzicato it first so that we can kind of isolate that left hand from the right hand. Anytime you get a chance to do that isolation, you're going to find you're going to make better connections once you put them together. So let's go ahead and give this a shot with both hands together, bowing and using your left hand, and let's make sure we get a nice big open bow arm. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, we're going to take a peek now at Tribal Lament, number 57. And what's important to look at for this is that you have a long continuous string of notes until you get to the end where you do a bow lift. So it might behoove you to practice kind of doing that bow lift. We want to make sure that it's just like an up bow, except you're about 2 inches off the string, right? We don't want to be too high, and we want to make sure that we're resetting from the tip to the frog, nice and relaxed and ready. Again, as I said, this is a nice continuous strand of notes. There's no rests in between like the exercises before. So let's go ahead and first pizzicato just so we can kind of get the left hand, isolate that left hand, and then we'll come on in with the left hand and the right hand combined together and do it twice through. We are going to do repeats both times. So here is pizzicato, and let's give it a shot. 1, 2, ready, go. Lift, repeat. So, whenever you're doing just the pizzicato sections, it's a great opportunity for you to focus on that left hand technique and also focus on thinking through the names of the notes so that when you add the right hand, you could just focus about, getting the rhythms and getting that nice big full bow. So here we go, number 57, Tribal Lament with the bow. Watch the bow lift at the repeat. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. Lift, repeat. Number 59, little steps, is just the same kind of thing we looked at when we did back and forth, except this time we're on the A string, or in the bass's case is on the G string shifted up. What is important to note is that angle of your bow has changed a little bit, so kind of get used to that feeling of that different plane of motion, of movement. And little steps, same rhythm that we've kind of become familiar with throughout this book, and we're only going between D and C sharp, so let's go ahead and give it a shot. Let's pizzicato first. So we're going to pizzicato those notes, and kind of while you're pizzicatoing it, you're thinking about your position, your posture. You're thinking about the note names so that you can isolate everything that's going on with the left hand first. So here is little steps. 1, 2, ready, go. Now let's give it a shot. So we focused on that left hand. We're pressing our strings down enough to really make sure that the string is making good contact. Now we're adding our bow. We want to make sure that we're really pulling that bow, feeling that elbow and wrist motion, feeling that elbow open up, nice relaxed bow grip. And here we go. Little steps with the bow. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, we're going to take a peek at elevator down. I switched to the bass so that you guys have an opportunity, bass players. I want to talk about where you shift, okay? So it's really important that we don't shift when the new note comes, not at that moment, but utilize any opportunity you can to shift over a rest or an open string or something like that to give yourself a second of time. And in elevator down, we have this perfect opportunity between the C sharp in measure 2 and the B in measure 3. There's a rest. So that's when you're going to really want to make sure you shift. So you're going to hear me say the word shift in the middle of that rest, okay? Everybody else, that rhythm is our nice, constant, consistent rhythm that we've been using to learn new things. And just watch the patterns of notes. The patterns become a little bit longer than our normal, like every measure is a pattern. So just kind of keep your eyes on the music, watch your notes as they go by, and recognize where those patterns are. So we're going to do this twice in a row. First time through, we are going to do this pizzicato, and then the second time through, we're going to do this with the bow. So that way we can still get in the habit of isolating left hand and right hand concepts so that we are successful when we put both of them together. So we are going to take a peek at number 60, pizzicato. Here we are. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Shift. So basses, you'll notice I used that rest to move down from C sharp down to B, okay? Let's go ahead and give this a shot with the bow. Again, really great left hand posture and position. That's what we just focused on in the pizzicato. Now we make sure we get our bows moving. Nice big open, full range of motion. Open that elbow and rest up. So here we go. Arco, elevator down. 1, 2, ready, go. Shift. Number 61 is elevator up. It's kind of a similar concept to elevator down, except you're going the opposite direction. Again, basses between measures 2 and measures 3. There's a rest that's going to help you use that rest to shift into an upper position. Everybody else, just really watch the pattern of notes. Make sure your left hand is in a really good instrument position. Make sure your fingers are standing up nice and tall, getting that nice, making sure that we have that nice pushing the string down all the way with our nice tall fingers. We're pushing down with the left, with the tips of our fingers. So here's elevator up. We're going to pizzicato it first time through, and then we're going to go ahead and bow it second time through. So here's the pizzicato. 1, 2, ready, go. Shift. Alrighty, so the last thing I would remind, and this is for everybody, it's really common for young players to do this, but resetting your bow kind of at each rest at the end of the measure. Look at how your bow moves. It's down, stop, up, up. So we want to make sure that we're using a continuous bow. We're not resetting. I do see that a lot in young players, is to reset that bow. So make sure you're following the bow directions that are marked there. All right, here's elevator up, arco. 1, 2, ready, go. Shift. All right, next we're going to look at Scale Simulator. Scale Simulator is, it's really not too difficult. The rhythm is that same repeated 3/4 notes on, 1 rest, quarter rest, each measure. The thing to note is just that pattern, that climbing pattern of notes. It's really important to keep an eye on your notes, kind of watch them go by, and make sure you're kind of thinking about where you're at. So we're going to do this just like the other ones. We're going to start by pizzicatoing Scale Simulator just to get a good feel for the left hand, a good feel for how the notes move. And we're going to go ahead and add that bow and really work on making sure that we can see and get that whole bow movement, get that arm and elbow open so when we get to the bow. All right, number 63, Scale Simulator. Watch those patterns. Left hand first, pizzicato. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. That my hand slipped there a little bit in the last one. All right, so now we're going to add our bow. What's really important to watch for this is make sure you're opening your bow arm, keeping a nice, steady, straight bow. I'm going to move my camera so you can see this a little bit better maybe. Make sure you're moving perpendicular to the string so that your bow is keeping a nice, straight perpendicular to the string, and you're opening that elbow up. So let's go ahead and give Scale Simulator a shot. Nice full open bows. Remember that with each 3 notes that we play, it's going to start the next pattern on a different bow. So we're going to be down, up, down, up, down, up. So you're going to feel that exchange and make sure you're watching your bow directions. Okay, Scale Simulator with the bow. Nice, big, full, beautiful open bows. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Our last tune that we're going to go have a video for over in these pages is going to be about the most important thing that you are going to learn as a beginning string player. It's definitely the thing as a string player you're going to play more of this than anything in the world, and that's number 64, the D major scale. Okay, our D major scale is just our basic building block. It's what we're going to use to usually warm up and get our minds right. It's just kind of home base. It's like saying the alphabet for us. It really is important to know this and know this very well. So we've already done this as pizzicato before, so this is nothing new, and it's really just kind of straightforward, two notes per pitch on the way up, and then 2 notes per pitch on the way down. Watch that last rest, because that can be tricky if you're not paying attention to your notes. So there's only one open D when you come down on the way down. So we're going to do this twice through again. First time through pizzicato, just really focusing on that left hand, making sure you're focusing on that good instrument position of posture. Make sure you're focusing on that left hand, making sure you're pushing your string down all the way, and then we'll come through and play it with the bow. So here we go, number 64, the D major scale pizzicato. 1, 2, ready, go. So let's give this a shot now with the bow. The nice thing about using scales to work on warm-ups and warm-up through things is that you can kind of, it gives you all the vocabulary of the notes in the D major scale, right? But you can think more about this bow arm because you're thinking less about those notes that you know very well in your left hand. So use this scale to get a nice big full sound. I want everybody, especially this one, the background track really has like that emotional chant feel. Really feel like you're opening it up and stretching that arm to its fullest degree when you open that elbow. So here we go. Essential Elements quiz, the D major scale with the bow. 1, 2, ready, go.